All right. Welcome. Well, gentlemen, want to welcome you to pod number 2. We got the Cowmish here today joining us. We've got the Gambler, who some would say was ranked number 1, and he may have fallen from his throne. So we're going to talk about that today. So with that, Gambler, do you want to come in and just say your piece before we get started, or?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just happy to be here. We'll see how things flesh out. But, my team definitely didn't show up in week 1. So
Okay.
we'll have to see.
Okay. And then Cowmish, you want to say your words of wisdom, anything that you want to talk about particularly today?
I think we got a full slate of items here. A lot of exciting fab bids. A lot of good chat going on in the league.
There was. There was.
Excited to flesh it out. There were some close victories. There was some serious duds. So
okay. Okay. Well, with that, gentlemen, let's. I got a little PP ready for us. And I'm gonna share my PP that I created while I was on the clock. For you gents, I was thinking about you. So, Madison may join us. He may not. But we're going to go ahead and get started, and we'll get his 2 cents when he joins. So with that, can we get the script? Can we get it rolling? Okay, we're going to get to number 2. So with this week 2 overview, we're going into injuries, a.k.a. Dan's bench. And I want to just – and maybe Cowmish, you can go ahead and take us and just talk us through some injuries here. What's serious? What do we need to worry about? What is not so serious, just looking over this list? I mean, there's 2 obviously that stick out, but what do you think?
So off the bat, serious, JK, done for the season.
RIP.
Potentially career. Aaron Rodgers, done for the season, probably career.
You think Aaron Rodgers doesn't come back?
I don't see him playing football anymore. He's 40.
Okay.
Right? 40-year-olds with a torn Achilles don't play professional football anymore. It doesn't happen.
Okay. So, and then I know you have Anthony Richardson. Well, I think you have him in every league.
He actually practiced, and I think he got taken off from questionable to healthy in the Yahoo platform, so he should be fine. Deontay Johnson, a little bit more concerning. I think he's week to week. Tyler Lockett, I haven't seen anything on him. Aaron Jones, I don't think anything's come out on him either. Jacoby Myers, I have no idea, to be honest. He wasn't a big enough player in my mind to where I was listening about him.
So I'll say 2 things. One, I called the J.K. Dobbins. I don't know who watched last week, but I said, "Oh, look who's here! Little double champ joining the fray. Well, double champ, how's it going? Welcome to the pod. You were mid PP.
Yeah. Glad I could grace you with my presence. There's now 2 championships in this room, isn't there?
Stop it.
I hate you. Well, we're just going through some injuries, aka Dan's bench. And I want to ask before we move on to the ambulance chaser himself, Mr. the Gambler. I mean, what are you thinking when you look through this list? Have you already picked up the backups for a couple people, or? I mean, what anything to add here besides what Cowmish mentioned?
So one big omission here is Austin Eckler is feared to potentially have a high ankle sprain. So news is developing on him. So the Angels potentially lost both starting running backs for week 2. I just so happen to face him. So I'm okay with that. But that's possibly also why he went big on Tyler Algier with $51. So we'll see.
Okay.
And also, I think Deontay might be a possible 4-week injury. So not good for Deontay.
So do you think with Deontay being out, does that make what's his face Pickens a potential good pickup? I mean, I don't know if he's already sitting on someone's roster already or not, but I mean, there's definitely going to be more options going to him. Although I'm not huge on the Steelers after watching the Steelers get smacked down. I mean, either way, but.
No, they feel like a rebuild right now. They feel like they're at the deep in the rebuild phase, and I don't know. I could be wrong, but feels like that.
Okay.
I don't know that I want
they
to
bounced back, but I'm not as optimistic as I was. So that was a beatdown.
Okay. Fair. All right. Well, the next segment here, I like to call Boomer Bust. And I don't know who wants to start. I figure anyone who feels strongly. I'll tell you who I think really stood out, and then maybe you guys can highlight a couple too from the rookies. I thought Bijan really solid. If they actually give him the ball, I mean, obviously they're kind of doing the stack without Jeer, but from the times I did see him, looked really strong. But honestly, Flowers looked really good. I mean, for Lamar, who really wasn't amazing, dude, he looked really solid. I mean, like, just doing a lot of great runs. And then I'll say one more is Richardson. I mean, I got to give props to my mans. I thought he looked pretty composed out there. Looked pretty easy. I think he kind of forced it till the end, and that's why he got injured. I mean, I know he's a big dude, but yeah, those were the three that really stuck out to me. But I don't know if anybody else wants to chime in on some. If you agree, can disagree, or what are the biggest rookies here? Or maybe I'm missing some. I didn't put everybody.
Cam, are you starting Richardson if he's healthy?
I'm not going to start Richardson just because of the matchups. My fantasy experts I'm listening to are telling me that Goff is the guy to play this week. So, but honestly, the way my team looks, it really doesn't matter which quarterback I start, I don't think. However, Richardson looks good. I think Bijan gets a B. I think Gibbs gets a C. Addison, I would give A-. Flowers, A+. Richardson, B+. Kincaid, I give a B-. I didn't see any really much of Tank, Laporta, Rashi. He looked pretty good. Stroud, a D. Bryce Young, a D. Jack Smith, I didn't see. Quentin Johnson, I didn't see.
I didn't think C.J. Stroud and Bryce Young looked that bad. I mean, I think back to like how bad Trevor Lawrence did the first year he was in the league, and it was pretty poor. I don't think I'd say they were even better than maybe what's his face on the Bengals, Joe Burrow on his first year, who wasn't great either. I mean, I don't know. I think they looked pretty composed, but I don't know. What do you guys think? I mean, you still think D? Would you agree D on that, Jared, for them, or I don't know? What are your thoughts on the rookie?
For which one?
For both C.J. Stroud and Bryce Young, I didn't think they were like awful. I don't think they were like standout either.
Yeah, so we need to see a little bit more tape on those guys. I wasn't particularly impressed with either, but it's just too early to tell on those guys. Okay. I do think that Flowers stood out as an A+ grade. He is on my team, but I mean, 10+ targets. He got a couple touches out of the backfield. He looked really good. Also, I think JSN from Seattle will eventually pan out. Seattle has a couple injuries on the offensive line, which I think hurt them in that second half. I think JSN will come on strong. And Gibbs is TBD as well. I think he flashed, but the touches were not great. So I'm a little nervous about him at the price I got him at, but optimistic for the future.
Yeah, it's frustrating to always watch when you went big on Gibbs and then they don't give him the ball. But hey, good for Cam. Well, Cam, you don't have him in this league. You have him in another league. I don't know who has him, Montgomery, in our league, but I'm sure they were happy with what they got for all the touches. Well, all right. So I think this is the moment we've all been waiting for, the conversation, the hot topic that needs to be had. And I have a couple quotes here before we get started. First one, and these people will remain anonymous. It could be the same person. I don't know. Someone said Derek acts all nonchalant, and then he drops $51 on someone nobody else has put money on. 51, not 50, not half. Over half of his fab spend, right? We also wanted to all just congratulate Jared on his 5th RB pickup. Congratulations, Jared, to make sure that there's nothing. The waiver is just dry as the Sahara Desert, just nothing available. So thank you, Jared, for that. So I'm going to walk through these, and then maybe we'll go to Madison just to get his reaction of just the wows or so. First, we got Mr. Tyler Algier himself. Zach went 51 on him, and I know Jared hinted at this. I know he has two running backs. 51. I was the highest bidder at $9 after that. I mean, significantly more than anyone put on that. We got Mr. Madison right here with Puka at 19, and I think this was a pretty good bid considering 15 was the next highest bid. I think that's a pretty fair bid.
That was Derek too. Derek coming in at 19. Derek's throwing money around like crazy, man.
Derek's got money everywhere. We got Kyron Williams, 13 with Bowser. No one else bid on that. Kendrick Bourne. We got Zach. And Zach, you'll see, is up here a couple times. $16 again. The next highest was 1. We got Zay Jones. This is a classic Derek pick. I don't know why I put 15. It must be less. I think it might be like 14. But Derek loves his Jags. I have no idea why. He loves his Jags for some reason. Like, really is a huge Jags fan secretly.
His Jags receivers especially.
Yeah, like, it's weird. So, yeah, I figured someone would go big on Zay Jones, but I personally feel like he's that guy that gets his 2 touchdowns. And then Christian Kirk will be back in there. And then, obviously, the Purdy pickup, which is ridiculous, but I'll let Madison touch on that. Jordan Love, $10 for Dan. He needed it. The Kenneth Gainwell, 15 for Corey. And then, not to be stopped here, one person on the call right now, $41 for Johnson and no other bids. So maybe we start there, Jared. What was going through your head when you made this bid? I want to understand what you were thinking, and then we'll go to Madison after this.
Yeah, I mean, I misread the room here, guys. Just gonna admit that. I got a little hyped on Rashawn Johnson last night. Watched some highlights. I mean, he bowled over a linebacker, caught 6 passes. I mean, it was garbage time, but hey, he looked really good. I think he can fight Herbert for that RB1 spot there. I will fall back on the fact that I was out of the league last year. I wasn't sure. I thought the league was going to go crazy for all these RBs. Nobody bid on Dylan. I thought Kyron Williams was going to get a lot more bids than he did. I actually had like $31 in for him. I canceled that out. So I completely misread the room here. But I think I would have still probably bid at least like 15 or 20 because I think Roshan will look good down the stretch. So we'll see if I can hold on to him or if I'll have to drop him or not. So.
Rashawn Johnson's stat line, by the way, 5 rushes for 20 yards and a touchdown. So really saw that week 1 production. You had to go in, right? 5 rushes for 20.
I mean, 6 receptions out of the backfield too. So, and it was the nature of the runs, not in production. But yeah.
And it's really a fired up offense there in Chicago. So a lot of scoring happening. So
Well, what else? I mean, we got to spend some time talking about both the Algier and the Purdy. I mean, what's going on here, Madison? Like, what is wrong with this league?
I will say, like, I don't know where the number 51. I'll give Jared credit. 41. Whenever you like read these things, 41 feels like one of those numbers that people go for. That's like I'm going hard for this player. Like I'm going hard in the paint to try to get this guy. 51. Who has ever thrown 51 around in our league before? And these guys coming out and just setting the bag on the table. I mean, Brock Purdy, sure, he looks good, but with quarterback depth, I mean, I would never put 51 on it. I mean, I get going 41 on a running back or 51 on a running back. I guess if you have need, maybe these are just freak out week 1 act. I don't have a running back. I need to go get anything that looks. I mean. Look, my 21 on Puka Nacua was a panic. Like I'm like, oh, I need a 3rd receiver. This guy better be it. And I thought 21 was panic money. Apparently, I got a deal there. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens going forward with Derek and Zach now because they have so little fab that you know how much to outbid them. I mean, I'm looking at them right now, and Zach's got 33. And Derek's got 34. So with 35 fab, you can take the 2 of them. Yeah, you guys in your next slide. You can take them out of the picture with the bids. So I think that's the one maybe danger that they have to kind of watch out for is being that low this early. But that on the other side, week 1 is the best time to get these guys because it's time value money, right? You're getting the most bang for your buck across the season. If you wait until halfway through the season to spend this money, you're not getting as much out of it. So I don't know. Time will tell, but it does feel like there was a lot of money going around. I mean,
if I had known Rashad White would be dropped, I probably would not have spent on Rashawn Johnson. Yeah, Rashad White's there.
Well, I like to call this, and let me just spend a minute. I like to call the red here. We've got 3 categories. We got our green, hey, we're doing good. You know what? We still got our money. These people, make sound investments. We got our yellows. It's like, hey, you know what? Week 1, we need to make some changes. We need to change course. I get it. I like to call the red the danger zone, that freak out, week 1, a little bit of stress, a little bit of extra. And the crazy part is Zach put up 116 points. I don't understand the Zach move. The Derek move, it's like maybe Justin Fields wasn't as good as I thought he was. Maybe the Justin Fields pickup wasn't hitting as much. So I think there was a little bit panic. Maybe Derek started sniffing that relegation, that feeling of that bug that you can't get rid of. And I think Corey needed to make some changes. Do I feel like any of the changes he made is going to save him? Probably not. I think Bowser picked up Hayden Hurst, so I hate him for $2. Because why? Why not $1? I want to ask Bowser that. I put $1 down. How did you know I put $1 down? It's like a weird thing that he knew to put $2. Like, who puts $2 on Hayden Hurst? Super random. But hey, that's just me. We got Baby Shiloh is taking as a guest appearance. Any words of wisdom for Baby Shiloh? What does she think about the Fab spin, Cam? Can he balance the dad hand with one arm Can he get off mute? He can't get off mute, ladies and gentlemen. He cannot get off mute. Here we go.
Guest appearance by fantasy expert Shiloh, Nicole Victoria. She said, first of all, we've grown here in the Milioni household, having not spent any in week 1, first of all. Second of all, she wants everybody to know that it is interesting that some of the big expenditures came from people who lost in week 1, maybe a little bit of overreaction. And then the Zach move is just totally unheard of. We don't know if his son's got a hold of his laptop, possibly to make some big moves that maybe they heard in their fantasy podcastings. But a little bit of overreaction, we're going to say, in week 1.
Okay. Thank you, Shiloh. That was expert analysis. I mean, it really was. Well, I want to move on. Unless anyone wants to comment out on that, I thought we had some really great game of the weeks. The 2 that I highlighted, and 2 of them on the call. And I want to hear what was going through the head, Cam, in a second here. But first, Corey versus Bowser. Boys, we have our first decimal winner. The first decimal of the winner. And all those decimals that we put into the league and those breaks, we have our first one at 93.51 versus 93.19. Our first close one. And then we have the gambler versus the comeback, the Comeback. And I have to say, Cam was in our bottom 3. And he's put up the most points in the league. I mean, maybe we go to Jay Rizzle first and we see, I mean, when you saw the points your defense put up, were you thinking it was in the bag? Do you think it was the fantasy gift? Did you burn your one fantasy, your thing that you had, or?
I mean, hey guys, I got inside information. Cam was nervous during this game. He saw Dallas putting up points. He thought it was over. I thought he had a chance all along Monday night with Diggs and Jets defense and Kincaid. But, I mean, my team put up less than 60 points without the Dallas defense. So I just didn't have enough. So I'll chalk this one up to just week 1 rust. And I think there'll be better days ahead. But still disappointed to lose with a 54 burger from your defense. So
54 points is ridiculous.
That's brutal. That's brutal.
Maybe we were wrong about the defense, guys. I've always been the big, hey, defense deserved points, but this is getting ridiculous. I don't know. What do you have to say, Cam? I mean, you put up the most points. Everyone doubted your team. Is this your year? I mean, I don't know. Is this finally the curse? It's broken?
I'm not going to go so far as say it's my year. I will say I do feel like the running back hype, first of all, has proved to be not so. And I also think the early quarterback moves also not panning out.
Okay. Says the man with Jared Goff on his team. He's feeling really confident. I mean, who would have thought? I mean, I look at your team, Cam, and sure, like, let's pull this up. Is this going to pull up? Like, is that the best game Ayuk's going to have probably for the whole season? Yes. What else we got here? I mean, is Herbert even going to be the main running back later on? Probably not. Is Stevenson mid? Yeah. But he got Diggs and he got AJ Brown, so I'll give him what he wants.
Look at the bench though. He's got that's the thing. A lot of the high scorers, you look at the benches and the benches are nothing. He's got bullet hole Brian Robinson. I mean, putting up points that's an art. That's 3 running backs now. So if he's got if he's got issues at running back, he's got a third. Most people don't have 3 running backs right now. So
some have 5.
So, yeah.
I will say. I will be more dangerous if Mark Andrews comes back.
Oh, okay, and that's true. That is one of your best players, and so you won against Jared without even having Mark Andrews on your team, on your game. That's pretty impressive. I mean, not to say, I think I can pull up the matchup here. I mean, Jared, I mean, obviously the Jamar Chase thing. Are you regretting that pickup at this point? I mean, they looked pretty dog water. I'm going to be real honest. I mean, obviously. Debo didn't do great for you. Flowers did great. Gibbs didn't really pan out. I mean, is there panic right now? I mean, New York is a trash right now. I mean, what are you thinking, Jared, right now? Like, are you stressed? Do you feel the stress? Do you think it's just week 1? I mean, right now, if I was you, there'd be a little bit of panic. Besides Dallas, I mean, you were projecting what? Half the score there? Maybe 60 points? I'm not trying to go off on your team, but I'm just saying, is there any fear?
Hey, no, none at all. I mean, you're going to see tomorrow night, Jalen Hurts is going to put up 30. Chase is going to be fine. Flowers is a hit. Dallas is a hit. I just dropped Myers for, what's his name from the Raiders? Carlson. So, I mean, I don't have to drop my QB, defense, kicker, or a couple wide receivers for the whole. So that's part of the reason why I'm stashing those RBs. So we'll see if any of those fit. But, I mean, I'm nervous about Gibbs, but that's about it. I think he'll pan out. And if Walker, Darren Waller's hammy holds up, we'll see. But that's why I got Luke Musgrave there. So, no panic yet. None whatsoever.
Okay. I like what I'm hearing. So I guess my question to all of us here is the defense all the rage? That's what I put here. I mean, Cam got 30 or so points. Jared got 56. I think I got 20 points from my defense. Everyone was almost in the, I think, majority over 20 points. I mean, or close to it. Did we go too far with the defense scoring? Does it need to be nerfed? I mean, what's the thoughts on that? Madison, what do you think?
Yeah, I think it's interesting because on one hand, you can kind of say everyone was getting points from their defense. Part of that's probably the week 1 freak out thing where look, a lot of quarterbacks didn't show up. A lot of people you expect to show up and shred defenses didn't do so. But everyone was getting – so, I mean, even while Jared is going to look at that 53 on defense and say, oh, well, that's great. Cam turned around and got how much from his team? 30 or whatever? I mean, how many people got over 20? Almost everyone got over 20 points from the defense. So that has to level out, right? That can't stay that way forever.
One team had single digits. Everyone else was double digits or higher.
Pittsburgh, right? Pittsburgh was the only one, ironically.
Yeah, I think for PD, defenses showed up for sure in week 1.
Also, though, not to talk in Vegas terms, but I feel like the under hit in almost every game.
That's true. Yeah, I think that's a fair point. As far as quarterbacks and connecting with people, I didn't feel great. I mean, maybe Purdy. I mean, Derek obviously thought so. They were connecting pretty well, but I didn't feel even Hurts wasn't amazing for the most part. I mean, I thought it kind of felt like going back to old fantasy league of the running back getting you all the points, and maybe that's the move still. I mean, Cam kind of set us with this trend of the Justin Jefferson, and then everyone started doing it on the wide receiver, and hey, maybe it's still just picking up the good running back is the move. I don't know. Time will tell. So I guess with the limited time we have left, I wrote a couple questions here. And then we could just chat about anything. Feel free to chat about anything you think is important you want to mention. But I said, is Cam's team actually good? Were we wrong about Derek? I mean, let me pull up Derek's team here real quick. He's making a lot of moves, but guys, this team is not performing well at all. I mean, did not do well. And then, let me go back one more time here. And were we wrong about Dan? In the other sense, maybe is Dan's team a potential top 3? I mean, we had 2 people put him in the bottom here. I mean, maybe Dan has something cooking for him. And lastly, I want to say, can Corey and Uncle Joe luck their way to a top 3 finish? We're getting the least points against every year, And really, who has the worst fantasy luck? That's the question I think we have to ask. So with that, anyone who wants to jump in here, we'll just do a straight shoot. We'll just go for the line, try to all contribute here. But let's start with Jay Rizzle. We'll go to Madison, Cam, and I'll close this out here.
I just want to say Uncle Joe has been very confident in the team chat. I mean, he's a double champ, all due respect. But, I mean, Derrick Henry didn't even get the opening snap of the season this year. He's relying heavily on him this year. So his team name, Don't Panic, it might be time to panic. I don't know. I'm just looking down at his team here. James Conner backing up Derrick Henry in the RB2 slot. You know, he's got Burrow. He's got Metcalf. Pittman surprised. I mean, Kelsey, we'll see if he can hold up, but it might be time to panic, Joe. Just saying.
And Kelsey potentially dating Taylor Swift. I mean, that's got to be a bad sign, right? That never ends well for anyone. That's got to get into his head or something. The fear of being broken up and having a love song written about him. You know, it's like I was in the stands. She was the captain, the cheerleader. You know what I mean? I don't know the words. I don't know someone help me out. Throw me the cheer captain of mine on the bleachers. There we go. We'll go to Madison. What do you got to say?
Well, I'd love to have a Taylor Swift quip here, but I'm gonna say, look, Cam is for real. I think when you look at like the week 1 vibe, it's like, you're looking across the lineup, right? You're not looking for big splashes. You're looking for depth. Cam has depth for days. He's got a QB. He's got like wealth at QB. He's got wealth at running back. He's got, receivers. He's got all of these pieces that I think fits for a long-term trajectory with his team. And I think compare that to Dan. Dan also has a really good team, but Dan has a depth problem. He's got injuries galore. He's like, Dan is really good, but Dan now has to manage this whole, and, Dan whooped my tail. So, congrats, Dan. It's a little sore from it, but I mean, like, he's got a lot of injuries now to manage. And I mean, I don't know if you saw that Jacoby Myers hit, but oh my gosh, he might not play for 6 months after getting his head. But, I think like that's what you want to see after week 1. You want to feel good that not only did your starting lineup deliver, but is everyone else delivering too?
Okay. Cam, what do you have to say? I mean, you're obviously in the talk. You sounded kind of cocky about your team. I mean, what do you think, man? Is this your year or what?
I think I have a well-balanced team. I like my team. I like that I went mostly wide receiver heavy, and I feel like that's going to pan out for me. Am I the best in the league? Yet to be determined. I think I won a good game, and I think scoring big points early is always great. Dan's team, a little hesitant to give him all the props quite yet. I think he's got a lot of pieces in his bench that yet to be seen what's going to happen. And then moving forward, I think who has the worst luck? I mean, you're looking at 3 people who've been relegated here, so we've all hit the bug. I think
let me say this.
Worst luck. I think best luck's always Corey. Corey's got something magical going on with him. Yeah. And I also say, Lorenz, everybody watch out. We said it. His team looks great.
Pull up his roster. I was going to call out Nick. He's not even sneaky good. He's good.
Let's take a look at Lorenz.
Brees Hall here. Brees looked amazing in limited touches.
Higgins obviously did nothing.
T. Higgins will be fine. DJ Moore, we'll see. But I mean, there's some potential here for sure.
Yeah, I'll go on the record and say Brees Hall, I was wrong. Dude looks really, really freaking nice. I mean, anyone that can make Zach Wilson look capable, I feel like you got to be pretty good in your role or position. And then obviously Pollard, super solid. DJ Moore was connecting. Yeah, and then he got his 2 Carolina backs. I mean, questionable. Couple of rookies.
A little questionable, but yeah.
I mean, San Francisco D, super solid. But I'll say on the record, Brees Hall, I was definitely wrong about Brees Hall. Looks.
All right, I think we lost Gabe.
Pick it up, Madison. Pick it up.
Well, Jensen, and I think, as we come to the end of this pod, I think, what we really want to do is just say, what week 2, give me one word for week 2. What you can sum up week 2 in a word. What's it going to be?
Whoops. I disconnected there. I think it's still recording. Hopefully.
Yeah, so you're good. You're good.
Okay.
Yeah, if
cool.
I had to, we're just going to sum it up in one word. We're looking forward or looking back, Madison?
Looking forward to week 2. What's the big
Week 2.
thing? One word.
Chase.
Chase. All right. Cam, what's your one word?
Turnaround. I think we're going to see a lot of the bad teams have big weeks. A lot of the good teams have some down weeks.
All right. Gabe, one word for week 2.
Lamar. Or more like need Lamar. That's what I should say. But I do want to say before we break, I'd like to see if we could do. And this is up to you, our owner of the finances. Could we put a game of the week together for week 2 and put some monies down?
Yeah. Who you want?
Well, let's take a look at the matchups and see what we got matchup wise. I mean, let me share my screen, and I'll let the group here decide because I don't want to be biased. You got me and Cam. Cam looks to be projected at 7 points. We got Daddy's team versus Pickett's charge. Pretty close. We got Corey and Matt. You versus Uncle Joe. We got the Angel versus the Gambler, and we got Dangible versus Derek. What are you guys leaning towards for game of the week?
I talked about how the good luck. We could go with the good luck matchup of Corey versus Lorenz. Who's got the best luck?
Is Corey's luck better than Matt's amazing drafting skills? Is that what we're positioning it? Can Corey's luck be defeated by the team that clearly at least 3 of us really feel strongly about Matt's team? And can Corey just continue to get the least points against his team every time? Is that what we're going for?
It's like Rayman versus a fantasy savant.
All right. Well, we'll lock it in for this week. We'll do Corey versus Matt. Gentlemen, I mean, I think we've covered pretty much anything. Anything we should need to add before we just close out here? No? All right. Oh, I do have one thing for you, Madison, before we go. So for those who don't know, Madison likes to buy us all random jerseys of players that are terrible on his team, on your team. And so I went on the old eBay, and I have 2 options for you here, Madison, and I want you to pick. We've got the Sam Bradford Rams jersey.
Oh.
It was cheap. And I don't even really know this player. My dad thought it was funny. Gosh, I don't even know his first thing. Oh.
Bledsoe?
Little Bledsoe Buffalo Bills jersey.
Oh.
Which one do you want to go, buddy? This is to pay you back, and you have to wear this if I give it to you.
Oh yeah, I will. Yeah. You know what? Give me the Sam Bradford. I was a big fan of Sam Bradford coming out of Oklahoma. He looked like he was the last quarterback to get those mega deals. He looked like the guy, and then he was terrible. He was so bad for so many years. When you pay a guy millions of dollars, like $100 million or whatever he's making, you have to keep starting him. He was so bad. So I'll take the Bradford.
So I think we should put this up maybe for a little competition or something for someone in the league. We'll think about it for next time, but for those who tune in, maybe you can win a jersey or something. I don't know. We'll have to take a look into it. So with that, Madison, that will come your way. Gents, thanks again for hopping on. It's been awesome, and we'll see you guys next time.
Well, good luck to you too, guys.
See you, boys.